Okay, this video is to clear the or uh, to do I have to start all over? No, just continue. This video is for people who don't understand what spankings is or spankings are. I don't know what grammatically word is right. Spankings is. I think it's spankings is. Um, just the word spankings. Spankings is not beating or punching or hitting. Spanking, okay, is, you know, the appropriate definition for spanking is to cause a uncomfortable physical touch to a child, like a pinch or that, you know, to a child. That's what a spanking is. Um, when parents spank children, it's usually the last resort. Coming from my own experience, and you have to remember that every child is different. Some children, you just look at them like really mean, and they're like, yes, what did I do wrong? Just a look will snap them out of their their action. Some children, you have to say it with words like no, and then they're like, oh, no. And then some children you have to go like no, like even harder, and then they'll listen. Some children, maybe when you start yelling like no, then they'll listen. Some children, none of those things work. You could be screaming at the top of your lungs. You could put them in timeout. You could do everything, and they still will not listen. I feel that these children are usually very high spirited, very strong willed. And so sometimes you have to physically touch them. Look, I told you not to do that. I told you not to run in the road. I told you not to run away from me in a big store where there's a lot of crazy people that could grab you, and potentially you will be gone from my life forever. And the thing is that sometimes when parents spank children, sometimes they will look like they're using excessive force to make it seem more dramatic, like I told you, but they're not. A mother knows that you could use the force, but you're not, you know injuring the child. And then, onlookers or bystanders will go, oh my gosh, she's beating her child. And it's like, no, no, we're putting on the act of our lives, so that the child will think that it's really dramatic. Okay, so first of all, you people who are watching other mothers discipline their child, unless you see blood or beating, you need to mind your own business. Okay. And you really need to mind your own business. I get really mad when I see, and these people probably never had children, or if you look at their children, they're probably the ones that are running raucous and driving everybody crazy, um, but so for those of you that don't understand that some children need spankings and uncomfortable touch, you know, to let them know that they have to stop it, you know. And then there's the parent that, she doesn't set boundaries for herself. So the child or her children drive her crazy, and then, you know, she either, becomes hypertension, or she gets breast cancer, or she, you know, takes it out on strangers, because she doesn't know to to t- to tell her children, you need to stop invading my space or my boundary. Children, they have endless amounts of energy. You have to guide them. You have to give them stuff to do. You have to observe them. Maybe they're tired. Maybe somebody hurt their feelings. I mean, you really have to know your child. That seems to be an ongoing theme in a lot of my writings or videos is you have to know things. You have to know yourself. You have to know your child. You have to know, you just have to, what are people doing? I don't understand what all the problems in the world, I just don't get it. It's like we're given everything, it's just we have food, we have materials. Why is there so much unhappiness and hatred in the world? It's just I just don't understand what people do with their time. It's just I don't know how this went from spankings to it's just I just look in the world, and it just behooves me. I just don't understand why people can't get it together, you know. And instead of working together, they're always picking on each other, putting people down. It's like instead of putting people down, why don't you come up with a solution? I mean, do you think people are really doing things because they hate other? No, it's because some people are weak. Some people don't understand. Some people are confused. We have to sort of I don't know. We have to make it so that people understand. We have to have clarity in our lives. Stop using your anger and hatred to build tension, because when you're tense, life doesn't feel good when you're tense. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to feeling good, whether you're, I mean, I don't know. Should I stop this video? I thought I was talking about spankings. Oh, and you know what? I hate giving spankings. It's so exhausting. I mean, I always tell, my child, I say, in the middle while I'm doing it, because I always keep my head on whenever I'm scolding or, giving a spanking thing. I say, do you think I'm enjoying this right now? I say that. And I wait till I get an answer because, I said, do you see how ugly my face is as I'm scolding you? And do you think I enjoy this? I said, what could be the reason as to why I'm doing this? What is the reason? And, I'm just trying to teach her that she has to be aware of her energy or the way she speaks to people or me, or, how she affects other people, and that's why I think most parents, discipline their child. Let's see. So, it's like I really don't really, butt into other parents' ways of disciplining their child. Some parents, have many different approaches, and you know, that's why life it has, it's variety or whatever. Just let parents be. Unless you see a parent like beating up a child, that's not good, or abusing a child, that's not good. You shouldn't. There should be no beatings. Beating. Everybody knows what a beating is. That is not tolerable. That you should never injure or hurt a child or abuse a child. You know. Anyway, I think that's it for now. I'm just so, I don't know. Just with this presidential election coming up, it's just everybody's so angry, as if it really is going to make a difference who wins. Come on. I mean, I don't really care about either one of them. I mean, Obama basically, with the debates coming up, I remember when he was running for president, and I thought, he looked like a really nice guy, and he probably is a nice guy. And then when he started doing his speech, I really wanted to, yes, yes, but it was so cliche. And in my mind, it wasn't the direction that we needed to take. And I didn't feel his convictions or conviction. So he's a charismatic speaker, but it's all empty in his vision and his foresight. Um, Mitt Romney, oh gosh, he's the one to watch. You don't know what this guy's gonna do. I mean, come on, he's like, oh man, he keeps changing. He keeps changing his consciousness, which makes him really interesting to watch. Um, of course, I wanted Rick Santorum to be, the Republican candidate, but there was no way they were going to let Rick Santorum go through because he, as much as I like Rick, he just scared everybody straight, with his morals and his ideals, which was good because, um, all the crazy people thought they were going to rule this country, and then Rick Santorum came up and, spoke for more than half of the country, the decent people who are living clean lives and going to work, delivering your mail and checking your groceries out, or saying, you know, what's up with that, while all these unemployed or, you know, people who are, just causing havoc in the country, he just scared them straight. So it was good. So, now we got Mitt Romney, who's, I don't know, he's kind of an interesting character. He's kind of good looking. I think he's kind of cute, which ain't bad. Well, actually, now both our uh, presidential candidates are kind of good looking. Rich is good because remember in the past how our presidents used to look like they're like, it's like very non-human. So it's really interesting. But I don't think the president really makes all the decisions, and it's what's going on in Congress. That's the mystery. It's the mystery of it all. I don't know what's going on and how all these rules are being passed, but it's very strange. Oh, and about the voting process? I swear, it all has to change. Um, Everything has to be televised 24/7. That's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way. And there has to be eyewitnesses. There has to be eyewitnesses for the voting process because this is just insanity. All the winners that have been coming up for everything, it doesn't match up. But who knows what Mother Nature has in store, for this new president. The whole country could be in a state of disaster as soon as this president takes office. Who knows? There's so many things, surprises to, as soon as someone takes office, they're like, nothing will be as it seems in life, especially since this is like 2012, crazy times ahead. But don't panic. Don't panic. No, no, no. Change is good. Change is so good. This country, the world needs change. I've been waiting for it my whole life. Are you kidding me? I was one of those people that just did not agree with anything that was going on, from the time, every single thing. I mean, just think with how this whole country was born, I mean, who was living here before somebody got here? I mean, come on. Talk about hypocrisy. How do you say that word? We're all hypocrites, It's like you can't even, it takes courage to get up every day knowing how this country was born, and to make something decent of it. No matter how um, how you think that everything is wrong. It takes courage. It takes courage to continue to be a good person and to believe in all that is good, you know. They call them dreamers. You know, you got to be a dreamer, you know. You got to stay in the fight, and you got to keep believing that one day, you know. I have a thought, it's called Until the Last Dictator Dies, you know. There's dictator in everybody. Well, not everybody, but in every type of whatever. But everybody's living out their fantasy of, you know, having power over other people, whether it's, you know, a celebrity who thinks they're all that and everybody should roll out the red carpet whenever they walk into a room, to like the political figure who wants everybody to do what they want to do. I mean, boy, we're getting philosophical here, huh? Why don't we just get to the point of it all? Yeah, the point of life is, you know, is it has is I've said it before and I'll say it again. Keep repeating. The point of life is to not have power over other people. It's the power from within. The power that you have to get up and do what you say you're going to do. That's the power. It's called self-discipline. Okay. I should do another video on that because that kind of correlates with other things. The word discipline. Discipline should be your new religion. Should be the thing you seek to find. It should be the thing that's on your mind. Discipline. Is that a song already? I think it is. Da, 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 da. Anyway, okay, it's very late at night, and I bid you goodbye. I'm getting tired. Sweet dreams.